All right, let's get into it. The story of DeXRP is, well, it's a perfect cautionary tale for the crypto world. They came out swinging with these amazing, flawless security audits, and you know how it goes. There's always more to the story. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see what those headlines didn't tell you, because there's a huge lesson in here for all of us.
Really, it all comes down to this one simple question. We see that word audited stamped on a project, and our brains just kind of go, okay, green light, it's safe. But is it really that simple? We're going to find out what that stamp of approval actually means, and maybe more importantly, what it doesn't.
So to really get what went wrong here, we have to go back and see the story the way everyone else first saw it, through these big, splashy headlines that screamed confidence.
And there it is, the headline that started it all. DeXRP passes its security audits. And not just from anyone, but from two well-known firms, CoinSalt and SolidProof. I mean, this was plastered everywhere, on social media, in forums. This was treated as the ultimate seal of approval, the proof that this project was solid as a rock.
Now, if you actually dug into the details of those audit reports, you totally understand why people felt so secure. The findings were crystal clear, and they seemed to confirm that the token itself was an impenetrable fortress. The audits basically gave a big green check mark to all the right things. No new tokens could be minted, so you don't have to worry about surprise inflation. There were no hidden blacklists or weird fees tucked away in the code. And the big one, ownership of the contract was renounced. So, on paper, this thing looked absolutely bulletproof.
So what does renounced ownership actually mean? Well, to put it simply, it means the developers have thrown away the keys. They can't go back and change the rules of the game later. You know, that's a huge deal for building trust in the space. It's supposed to mean they can't rug you. So of course, the DeXRP team took these amazing audit results and made them the absolute crown jewel of their marketing. And it worked. It didn't just build a ton of confidence, it pretty much shut down anyone who had early questions or doubts about the project.
But this is where our story takes a pretty sharp turn. Because an audit isn't just a simple pass or fail. Oh no, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Here's the question you always have to ask. What was the actual scope of the audit? What did they look at? And maybe even more importantly, what did they not look at? See, the headlines weren't technically lying. They just weren't telling you the whole story.
Think of the audit like a super powerful spotlight. But they aim that spotlight at just one tiny part of the stage, the token contract itself. And yeah, that part was perfect. But the entire rest of the ecosystem, the liquidity contracts, the staking platform, the presale system, all the places where your money actually moves around, yeah, that was all left completely in the dark, totally unchecked. And this, right here, is the big takeaway. A secure token doesn't mean a secure investment. It's kind of like having the world's most high-tech, impenetrable, absolutely uncrackable safe.
But you left the front doors of the bank unlocked and wide open. I mean, who cares how strong the safe is if anybody can just stroll right in and mess with everything else? If the pathways that lead to that token are weak, the token's own security is practically useless.
Here's another way to think about it. That secure token contract, it's like a Formula One engine, a masterpiece of engineering, super powerful. But what good is that engine if you drop it into a car that has no brakes, no steering, and no wheels? A single strong part can't save a broken system. Okay, so we've seen the problem, it's a big one, but what can you do about it? Well, this whole mess actually gives us a really clear, actionable playbook for how to protect ourselves from this kind of thing. So next time you see audited on a project, just run it through this quick 3-step check. First, verify the scope. And I don't mean just read the headline. I mean go find the actual report and see what they really looked at. Second, evaluate the entire ecosystem. Look past the token and ask how the other parts work. And third, do your own homework. Go dig around in the Discord, the Telegram, the forums, and find out what the community is really saying. So in the end, the DeXRP story is this perfect, memorable lesson. That flashy headline they show you, it's often just one tiny piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. And if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. The real security of any investment isn't measured by its strongest point. It's measured by its weakest link. That's the whole game.
And that kind of leaves us with a final question to ask ourselves. Are we just going to look at the one shiny, polished piece of the puzzle they want us to see? Or are we going to do the work to find all the other pieces so we can see the complete picture for what it really is?